Hi, everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about the restoration of voting rights in the state of Florida to ex-felons. I've spoken of this many times on this channel, saying that Florida has one of the harshest policies on denying the franchise to people who have actually served their time and paid their debt back to society for even nonviolent drug offenses, that most of them still cannot vote unless they apply for clemency. And depending on who the governor is, they will or will not receive clemency. And so our revolution supports this. It's a voting rights restoration for felons initiative, a voting restoration amendment. I'll post a link to our revolution statement on how they recommend voting yes on the constitutional amendment, which would restore voting rights for people with prior felony convictions, except those convicted of murder or a felony sexual offense upon completion of their sentences. Okay, and then also, so that's our revolution. ACLU also has expressed support. They have a statement on the Florida Supreme Court approving the voting rights restoration ballot language. And so the people who are supporting this effort had to get the language of the ballot initiative actually approved before going through the process of gathering signatures. And so they've had support. According to the ACLU, that Florida is one of 3 states with a lifetime ban on voting. The amendment modernizes Florida's criminal justice rules by bringing that state into line with others nationwide. And so that's the ACLU statement. There's also information from the Brennan Center, the voting rights restoration effort in Florida. And so they're saying that Florida has one of the most punitive disenfranchisement policies in the country, permanently barring all citizens with felony convictions from voting unless they individually apply to the State Office of Executive Clemency for Rights Restoration. And so they may receive clemency if they apply, but usually not. So for the most part, it is a lifetime ban on voting as it stands right now. And so 1.6 million Floridians have been banned from voting. They are disenfranchised currently. And that means that's 1.6 million people in Florida who cannot cast a ballot, whether they want to cast a ballot for a Republican or for a Democrat or for an independent or for a ballot measure. They are banned. And so if there's a certain political party that finds themselves consistently losing the state of Florida, that might have something to do with it. Okay, and so that means that 1 in 5 African Americans in the state are barred from voting in the polls. And so most African Americans, if we look at the statistics, generally support the Democratic Party, the candidate, and that as we've seen, ever since Bill Clinton, Barack Obama is the only one, I believe, at the national level who's been able to carry the state of Florida. And that this might be one of the reasons why the 1994 crime bill has had an effect of disenfranchising many people, and that the state of Florida has interpreted that, the mandatory minimum sentencing, the escalation of charges from misdemeanors up to felonies, and then, of course, barring those people from voting, it has had an effect, a political effect. And so there's these efforts. I'm going to go ahead and post a link in the description that the ballot initiative is in the process of being supported through the gathering of signatures. They need quite a sizable amount of signatures. I don't have the exact amount in front of me, but it's like 766,000. I believe that's the number that they need. So quite a hill to climb, but hopefully they'll be able to do that in time for the 2018 midterm elections to put that on the ballot. So I'll post more information in the description, the links to these articles. You can learn more about the effort, the different groups involved, and how you can assist them if you want to with re-enfranchising people to be able to vote. Those who have paid their debt to society, who are no longer felons. They are maybe former felons or ex-felons, but they are definitely citizens. And if they're paying taxes, and many of them are, that they should be allowed to vote and have a say in how those taxes are used. Good luck.